Hi, I'm Yessie.
Hi, I'm Bobby. This is our tiny home and we're in Lampasas, Texas.
So we've been together for 5 years, but we've been married for 3.
Our parents gave us the option. Of course, they gave us some money to help out with the wedding. So along those lines, our parents said, well, you can have a big wedding or you could put this towards your first home. So we decided to have a very small wedding and ended up getting our first home in Rosanke.
We ended up getting married just at the courthouse. It was probably a 10-minute
It's
ceremony.
Quick said and done, yeah.
But it was special. We were living in a 2,000 square feet house in Rosanke on 15 acres. And we knew that that wasn't going to be our dream home and we wanted to build a barndominium. So we decided, or I kind of pitched the idea, well, what if we sold the Rosanke house and lived in a tiny house and lived there for a couple of years to save money to build our dream home? And at first, he was very skeptical. He was like, there's no way I'm living in a tiny house that's 399 square feet.
But she goes, just come out to Creative Living Solutions in Bastrop and let's just take a look. So I said, all right, we'll go look. And it was like 30 minutes down the road. So went and looked at it and they had all these different models and they were explaining to us how customizable it is. So you start off with a box and you could, pantry, cabinets, stairs, fixtures, everything is 100% customizable. So I really liked that aspect and it was a lot bigger than what I had thought. So I said, it's just 2 of us. This sounds like a good adventure. Smaller footprint and I've always been kind of a minimalist guy, so this will just help kind of push that. So when we were there, I was like, okay, this is definitely doable as long as we have my barn or, my man cave, I guess you should call it.
We've been living in our tiny house for 6 months. It was built by Creative Living Solutions.
The dimensions of the tiny home are 26 by 15 with a 12 by 15 square foot porch. We're sitting on 5 acres. A couple mature oaks surround the tiny home. We do have a wet weather creek running from corner to corner, but plenty of room for growth. Currently on the land, we've cleared a spot for a barn. We've cleared obviously a spot for our tiny home. We built a retaining wall around the tiny home. Other than that, just clearing some underbrush, cleaning out the creek for better water flow, and hopefully starting to prep for another home on the property. We like to spend a lot of our evenings out here around the fire or watching TV or just enjoying the wildlife. This gave us an opportunity to have a larger outside hangout area for friends and family rather than having this living space added into the interior of the house. Whenever we decided we wanted to have a porch, I wanted to have a little bit of entertainment out here as well. So we do have the TV for sports and movies if you wanted to turn this into an outdoor movie night. So that's it for the outside. Come and take a look inside.
Welcome to the Hopper House.
Coming into the tiny home, we knew it was going to be a smaller space, so we wanted to make sure that it felt as open as possible. Yessie brought the whole going tiny idea to me, and at first I was against it, so I think she had the right approach of showing me a wider tiny home first, and I was sold immediately. We walked in the door, and the layout wasn't like this. We kind of customized it to our liking, but just seeing the size of it, it was a warm welcoming to me walking in for a little bit larger room.
Starting with our living room, these are our large windows that we really enjoy. You can see all the trees, all the nature. Sometimes we even see red stags or deer or even cows walking by. So it's really nice and peaceful in the morning to just kind of wake up and see them outside. And then here we do have 2 sofas, mine and his, which we spend a lot of our evenings as well watching TV. Above here, my husband actually built these floating shelves and they actually rotate. So each one can go like this towards the sun if I need them to be, or if they need a little bit extra lighting. During the pandemic, we were stuck inside all the time. And so I kind of got into indoor planting. I started off with maybe two, three plants, and then it kind of branched off into about 47 to 50 plants. But then when we went tiny, a lot of my plants didn't fit here. So we had to get creative on how to display them around our tiny home. So he built me these rotating shelves and then other areas too, just to kind of place the plants. Part of the living room, we already had this large TV on our last home. It was in our living room and we really wanted to keep it. So what we did, actually, we had to measure out the length of this and let the builder know that we needed to shift the door a little bit to the left. That way our TV could fit. We don't regret it. We love it. On the other side of our house is our kitchen.
Going tiny, the kitchen was a big deal. I do love to cook. Yes, he loves to cook, and we love being in the kitchen, so we want to make sure that the appliances were of the same size. We do have a traditional size sink, and we went with the stainless finish on that. Same thing with our stove and fridge. It's a normal size. The only thing we took a hit on was our dishwasher, which we do wash most of our dishes by hand, but we do have it if need be. It's a little bitty guy. Plenty of cabinet space for pantry items, dishes, cups, etc. Also our island. This was a huge hit. It's on wheels, so we can wheel it out of the way or into the living room to have as a table. But this houses all of our spices, our forks and knives, but a big storage area as well. On the left-hand side of the kitchen here, traditional size oven, stove top with our microwave. We didn't have the option to have gas out here, so we did do a stove top, electric of course, but a standard size. So we didn't have to go tiny in that aspect as far as our appliances, so we really lucked out with that. We got to keep a traditional size fridge and freezer here, so that helped out with storing meat. The first step for going tiny is that we wanted to find a piece of land that we could see ourselves on for quite some time. Our community has no HOA. It has a grazing association. So whenever it came to get down to the nitty gritty, figure out where we're putting the tiny home, of course, we had to look into what are the county regulations and also if there are any restrictions within our community. We looked out. Tiny homes were permitted, so we got that clear. But as far as location on the tiny home, that was free to us as long as we're 50 foot within a water well. So before we picked the spot for the tiny home, we had to call a water well service out to make sure that we could put a well within 50 foot of the home.
For 5 acres for this plot, we actually paid $94,000. We were looking for quite some time for affordable land in the Austin area. I think by the Bastrop area, we were looking at like a little plot, maybe like a quarter acre. It was already like $100K. And so when we came across this plot of land, we're like, this is perfect. We'll have enough in our savings and just kind of enough to kind of start up the tiny house. And then for the actual tiny house itself, we did customize it. So we paid $107, which came with everything that we wanted. For us, that was very affordable because when we sold our Rosanke house, we actually made quite a bit of a profit. With that profit, we paid off our vehicles, student debt, any other debt that we had. So we actually became debt free. And with the little bit of that we had left over, we used to pay for the land and a big chunk of the tiny house. So we were able to save tons of money. And a lot of our projects are DIY. So we were able to save on that as well.
The base model start, at least for this model, it started at 57. So they're pretty affordable, being that you're going to live in it. They offered so many different options to us. It's just picking one out that fits your taste.
Really, our goal is to really save for the next 3 to 4 years. So we're kind of living off of one income, his income, and then my income just goes towards savings so that we can get closer to our dream goal.
Definitely have to budget right, and I got to give that credit to Yessie. She's been on the back end of this, making sure that all the finances lay into place. Our water well, that project alone, I think hit $24,000, and then our septic system, we went with conventional, so it's just gravity fed, and that ran a little over $8,000. The electrical project was kind of in different stages, so PEC charges, I think, between $2,000 to $3,000 to put up a transformer.
On the other side of the fridge, we do have our washer and dryer. They are a little smaller than your traditional, but it does a really good job. I only do one extra load than I would have on a traditional washer and dryer, which is not that bad. On the other side of our washer and dryer, we have our bathroom. And we did want to add a little bit of a color, so we went with like a navy blue mat and towels. And then on the shower, we have that nice tile to match what we have in the kitchen from earlier. And then by the sink and by the toilet on top, we do have shiplap for the background. On this side, we have cabinets where we put all of our towels, things like that, and underneath any other extra products that we may need for the bathroom. On top of the shower head, I do put eucalyptus. It really helps with just like de-stressing and kind of calm you down while you're in the shower. And it smells really, really good, and Bobby likes it. So we actually bought these hooks. You just kind of swing them out, and then you can just put your towel, and then when you're done, you just kind of click it back on. That's how we keep everything nice and neat.
Next to the bathroom is our master bedroom. We're able to fit a king-size bed in here, which was a huge plus. Again, natural lighting from these large windows above the bed. Next to us is our mini split. We actually have two in the tiny home. One is on the X tier up above in our loft. Extremely efficient. It is a ductless system. It works great. It's done well in the summer with our triple digit days. Definitely a plus having it in the bedroom. On the other side of the bedroom is our closet. The left side has a sliding barn door. Eventually we will have two additional barn doors that will be sliding to have that space covered. In the master bedroom, of course, we wanted a private access into the bathroom. So through this door here, this will give you access to go into the bathroom, shower, and the sink.
This is our stairs right here. We really liked the natural wood finish, so we did leave it like this. And then since we did have to be creative on storage, each step actually has drawers that you can open. So we do have we have 4 of them up here. So now let's go upstairs. And welcome to our loft. Starting off here, we did actually put in like a little kid fence just because we do have a dog, and that's just kind of to prevent her from coming up here, or if you just want some privacy. We do have 2 queen beds to fit our friends and family, so 2 in each bed. And then also in the middle of the beds, I do have my station for work, my 2 desktops. So I do work from home 3 days out of the week. And this is kind of where I sit down. It doesn't hit my head, and I'm good to go. Over here, we do have a cedar chest, which is actually Bobby's toy chest when he was younger. And then inside, we do have a lot of our games. Poker, some Monopoly, Guess Who, the things like that. I do have a basket filled with extra blankets just for the winter if it gets too cold for our guests. These are more plants that I have. They're kind of just growing, and I'm just kind of putting them through the rebar just for a little bit more of a nature feel here. We do love the open space as well, the windows. We get a lot of sunshine, so I really like that they were able to incorporate it here in the loft as well. It really has humbled us from going large to tiny. I was a big shopper back then. And so now that living tiny, I don't have the need to go out shopping all the time, getting new clothes or shoes, things like that. And I kind of like that.
No room for it. So
there's no room for it, but it also has humbled me. It's been a really big challenge, but after a couple months, I've gotten used to it. And it's not as difficult anymore. I kind of, when we go shopping in general, I kind of look at it a little bit different. Like, do I really need it or do I want it? So a lot of the time it's just, I want something and I'm like, well, I already have, so many shoes or X amount of clothes. I don't need anything extra. Since the tiny house is tiny, we spend a lot of our time being outdoors. It's very peaceful out there, especially for, you're having your morning coffee or tea or whatever it may be, or even in our evenings kind of after work.
Our dream is to have a Barndominium a lot larger than this one. We're looking at maybe a little over 4,000 square foot. But yeah, on the outside shell, it's gonna look like an old rustic barn. And on the inside, a lot more modern of a touch there. Just like a typical home, I guess. But hopefully in 3 years or so, we'll be ready to start that project. It's a walkway connected to this one, but have it on the other side of the property. So.
We hope to start a family by then. Mm-hmm. So we're really excited. It's a long journey, so we'll see.
Thank you for watching our video and for stopping by Tiny House Expedition. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Christian. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And for more tiny home tours and stories, click the videos below.
And join us on Instagram for bonus content,
including face-to-face conversations with us. We hope to see you there.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.